The Bills already made bold moves this offseason. Brandon been pulled off a trade with the Chicago Bears to land DJ Moore, giving Josh Allen a legitimate number 1 wide receiver for the first time in years. Then they went out and signed Bradley Chubb to beef up the defense. Most teams would stop there and call it a day. Not Buffalo. According to journalist Evan Mass, the Bills are still hunting for more firepower on the defensive side of the ball. And the name that keeps coming up: Jadeveon Clowney. Now think about that for a second. A 12-year NFL veteran. A guy who at 32 years old still recorded 5 sacks, 41 total tackles, 2 fumble recoveries, and 4 passes defended while playing for the Cowboys last season. In the last 3 seasons alone, Clowney has racked up 5 sacks. That is not a player who is done. That is a player who still has gas in the tank. Alex Brasi of Sports Illustrated made it clear, Clowney is one of the most likely free agents to land in Buffalo before training camp kicks off. And financially, it makes total sense. Spotrac projects his deal at around $7 million. For a team going all in on a Super Bowl run, that is basically a bargain. Here is the real picture. With Greg Rousseau, Bradley Chubb, and rookie TJ Parker already in that defensive front, adding Clowney would create one of the most terrifying pass rush rotations in the entire NFL. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, every single one of them would have to deal with that kind of heat coming off the edge. And we all know what consistent quarterback pressure does to even the best defenses in the league. It destroys them. Who do you think is the most dangerous quarterback in the AFC right now? Drop your answer in the comments below. But here is the thing. Fixing the pass rush is only half the problem. Because there is another area of this roster that has been quietly giving the Bills front office some serious headaches. And it involves a position that could completely fall apart if they do not act fast. According to Randy Jerry of Bills on SI, the cornerback situation in Buffalo is a genuine concern heading into 2026. And this is not a minor issue. This could be a season-defining problem if it is not solved before Week 1. Here is the situation. Brandon been made changes to the secondary this offseason. Veteran Tre'Davious White was released. D'Angelo Alfred came in through free agency. Safety positions got upgraded with C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Geno Stone joining Cole Bishop. On paper, things look better. But opposite Christian Benford, that spot is a disaster waiting to happen. The Bills were counting on Maxwell Heiston to step up and lock down that starting cornerback role in 2026. The problem is that injuries keep showing up. Heiston has not been able to stay on the field consistently, and that is creating real panic inside the organization. If he cannot stay healthy, Buffalo might be forced to throw rookie Daquan Igbonason into one of the toughest roles in football way too early. And that is a recipe for getting exposed in January. So what is Bean's solution? His eyes have landed on Riley Moss, cornerback for the Denver Broncos. Spotrac has Moss listed as one of the most trade-likely players in the league right now. But here is the twist. He is not being moved because he played badly. He is being moved because Denver wants to clear space for Jalen Polk, their first-round pick from the 2025 draft, and Moss is entering the final year of his contract. Perfect timing for Buffalo. Now here is where it gets really interesting. Riley Moss played under Jim Leonhard in Denver. And Jim Leonhard is now the defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. That means Moss already knows the system. He already understands the concepts, the assignments, the philosophy. There is no learning curve. He plugs in immediately and starts contributing from day one. That kind of instant fit is priceless for a team that is still adjusting to a new head coach and a new defensive identity. And on top of all that, Moss has massive personal motivation. He is playing for a massive contract in 2027. You want a guy who is hungry. Riley Moss is starving. But wait, there is one more massive storyline brewing in Buffalo that every single Bills fan needs to know about. And it involves Josh Allen, a Christmas Day showdown, and the most painful loss in recent Bills history. Buffalo Bills fans still feel the sting of January. That 33-30 overtime loss to the Denver Broncos in the AFC playoffs was not just painful. It was devastating. An overtime field goal. Controversial officiating. An interception that changed everything. It was the kind of game that haunts a fan base for years. And it triggered massive change inside the organization. The Bills ended the Sean McDermott era. Joe Brady was promoted to head coach. The roster was rebuilt from the ground up. That Denver loss was the moment everything shifted in Buffalo. Now, According to journalist Jordan Schultz, the NFL has officially scheduled a rematch. Bills vs. Broncos. Christmas Day. Week 16 of the 2026 season. Back in Denver. Circle that date on your calendar right now. What makes this even more terrifying for Denver is this fact. Even when Josh Allen had one of his worst performances of the postseason, throwing 4 turnovers, the Bills' offense still scored 30 points. 30 points with 4 turnovers. That is how dangerous this offense is. Now imagine Allen coming into that Christmas game healthy, sharp, and with DJ Moore running routes alongside Stefon Diggs. That is a completely different monster. And here is one more detail Denver should be sweating over. Jim Leonhard left Denver to come to Buffalo. That means the Bills now have a defensive coordinator who knows exactly how the Broncos operate on offense. Buffalo has the blueprint. They know the tendencies, the concepts, the favorite plays. Denver cannot hide anything. Inside the Bills building, the feeling is not fear heading into 2026. The feeling is confidence. The team believes that January loss happened because of their own mistakes, not because Denver was simply better. And that belief drives everything they are doing this offseason. Here is what I want to know from you. If Brandon Beane lands Jadeveon Clowney for the pass rush and pulls off a trade for Riley Moss to fix the secondary, is 2026 finally Buffalo's Super Bowl year? And what is your prediction for Bills vs. Broncos on Christmas Day? Does Josh Allen go off and get his revenge, or does Denver do it again? Drop your prediction below right now. Bills fans, make some noise. This is not the same Buffalo Bills team that kept falling short. The mentality has changed. The roster is deeper. The coaching staff is bolder. And Josh Allen has unfinished business that he is clearly not willing to leave on the table again. 2026 is not a rebuild. It is not a wait-and-see year. For Buffalo, it is now or never. And honestly, the rest of the AFC should be very, very worried.